Recording in progress.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the council meeting today. It's great to see a full council chamber. Sure, all you folks that are to do with the drainage, you know each other, your neighbors out there. So that's a good thing. I would just like to say that when you're speaking, if you don't mind addressing the podium or moving up to the podium, state your name and the reason you're here, and make sure that the mic's on. We have people that get very upset when their mics don't work, and people at home. We do have people that watch this council meeting. So again, thank you. I'm going to ask if there's any to disclose any pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Hearing none, we'll move along. Got a resolution moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, second by Councilor Gunson, that the minutes of the Town of Minto September 16th, 2025 regular council meeting be approved. All in favor of that motion? It's carried. Thank you. Another resolution moved by Councilor Putnovitz, seconded by Councilor Elliott, that the Town of Minto Council convene in committee of the whole. All in favor of that motion? Good. Thank you. That's carried. So we have a public meeting today. I'll be the official chairman of the public meeting, and I would like to ask our clerk to outline the purpose of the meeting.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair Turton. The purpose of the meeting is to consider the engineer's report prepared by R.J. Burnside and Associate Limited of Wingham, Ontario, dated August 21st, 2025 for drain number 95. Notices of the meeting were sent to 8 landowners along with the report. As well, copies of the report were circulated to town staff, Maitland Valley Conservation Authority, Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and the Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Rural Affairs. There was no one that registered to speak.
Okay, so I would like to ask our engineer, Mr. Craig Nanscoville, engineer for this project, to enlighten us, please. Welcome, Craig. Is the green light on?
The green light is on. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of council and staff, most of you know me. I'm Greg Nanscoville, and I'm here on behalf of R.J. Burnside and Associates to present municipal drain number 25. I trust everyone's had enough time to review the report. So in interest of council's time, I'll try to keep my presentation rather brief.
Yeah, so the Blue Jays start at 8 p.m., okay?
Okay, duly noted. This project was originally initiated by a Section 78 request for a drain improvement by from Daniel Angst, an owner of part lots 29 and 30 in concession 6, filed with the clerk of the municipality December 17th, 2021. A subsequent Section 4 petition was filed with the clerk on November 15th, 2022, signed by Susan Hebel, owner of lot 26, concession 5. This drain was originally constructed under the authority of a report prepared by J.R. Spreat in 1984. The watershed for this project is approximately 155 hectares or 383 acres. As a part of our investigation, a CCTV investigation revealed that the 1984 tile drain was in very poor condition. Field investigations indicated that lot 29 concession 6, Daniel Angst and Natalie Angst Tapelet properties were experiencing frequent and significant erosion due to waters coming from upstream lands. The work proposed under this report here is approximately 336 meters of open ditch improvements, installation of 1 access culvert in the open ditch, the installation of 1,082 meters of concrete field tile to upgrade the 1984 system. Also, due to the petition, an additional 831 meters of concrete tile to address the Section 4 petition as an extension of the main drain upstream. And 42 meters of concrete tile in branch B. It's a little short branch. And the abandonment of a section of the 1984 tile drain on the Robert Trendle property. It also includes the construction of an earthen berm between the Angst property and some clearing, brushing, and mulching work to be done in the corridors that go through woodlots. Appendix A in the report actually deals with allowances, and allowances have been provided under section 29 right away and section 30 for damages. A total of $99,000 have been allotted to allowances in this report. Appendix B is the cost estimate for this project. The total estimated cost for this project is $600,000. A summary of these costs can be found on page 5 of Appendix B. Estimated construction costs, $319,200. Allowances of $99,000. Engineering of $151,000. Administration and financing fees of $30,800. Appendix C contains assessment schedules for both construction and future maintenance. Appendix D is the letter of advice from Department of Fisheries and Oceans, as well as Maitland Valley Conservation Authority permit for the works proposed. Appendix E are just standard specifications. Appendix F are special provisions. Special provisions are provisions that are specific to this particular project and perhaps not covered adequately in the standard specifications. Appendix G is sort of the results of our soils investigations. And Appendix H is the drawing set for this project. And I think that covers it pretty quickly, but I'd be happy to try to answer any questions anyone might have.
Okay, thanks, Greg. We'll have, if you want to stay there, but I'm going to ask our town staff, Ryan Binkley, if there's something that he would like to add.
I don't have anything to add at this time.
Okay. So I'm going to call any speakers registered to participate and wishing to provide information that might influence council's decision on the matter. Anyone would like to speak? Go ahead, sir. If you go to the mic, please, and state your name. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Rob Trendle, owner of 5800 and 5768 Fifth Line. I have retained counsel a couple of years ago now. So I recently talked to him. I sent him the hard copy, but it got tied up in the mail. So I contacted Ryan and I got a digital copy. So my lawyer is in possession of that right now. And there hasn't been sufficient time between receiving the package and me being able to sit down and talk with him and his drainage engineer. So I'd like to request a month to get this looked after, and hopefully we can have some resolution in that time.
Okay, thank you. So Greg, I'm going to ask you to respond to that request, please.
Yes, there are certain timing constraints and such that are laid out in the Drainage Act for appropriate notice. We've had a series of public meetings throughout, which are listed in this report. We've abided by all of the timing guidelines laid out in the Act. And in my opinion, everyone has had sufficient time to review this report. That's in my opinion.
Okay. Can I have a question? So this started way back, the original was December 17th, 2021.
That's correct.
And the second part of it was November 15th, 22. So what's happened since then, if that's an appropriate question? Is it COVID or
But no,
no?
no, it is an appropriate question.
Uh-huh.
And I think the reason this particular project took so long for us to get to this point was because of RJ Burnside's workload. For one, we have several of these projects on the go, and we've had some staff changes since this began.
So in your opinion, everyone has had, everybody involved in this has had ample notice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move along. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So John, if you don't mind going to the mic, please, and state your name.
I just come a little Bob's defense here a bit.
So would you state your name, John Cox?
John Cox, about 30,
Thank you.
part of this drainage system. He's mentioning there was multiple meetings. I was only here for one meeting. I don't know about the rest of the people here, but so I don't know where he's come from with ample meetings.
Okay.
Can somebody answer? Was there more than one meeting? Since
So I would, you have the report,
Hmm?
correct?
Yeah, we had one meeting. 2 meetings.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. We had the on-site meeting for this project in March, on March 11th in 2022. We had an information meeting on April 5th, 2023. And with all due respect, John, we met with you and your wife at your property.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you were very long. You were there. I give you credit. Well, seeing him up here anyways.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Since the one of April 2023, we have a preliminary costing. There seemed to be some creative accounting going on since then. Things have moved around. Some are paying less and some are paying more. So I don't understand how that ours being one of the ones that is more has doubled. I'm not sure how you managed to do that, but I would like an explanation, I guess, on that portion. And has this gone to tender yet?
Pardon me?
Has this job gone to tender yet, or?
So we'll get Greg to speak on that.
Might be all here all day if we go this way. Question.
It has not gone to tender yet. And excuse me, what's your first question?
Your accounting.
Oh, okay.
How does
Yes.
yours go from?
We're not, this meeting is not here to discuss assessment.
Right.
And that could take place at the Board of Revision explanations for that.
Right on.
Might as well sit down then. Sorry, there's a lot of information.
Okay, so I've got next on my list here, is there anybody else that registered would like to give any comments? So hearing none, I'm going to go to the council questions and further comments. Do we have questions from council? Go ahead, Councillor Potnowitz.
That's through you there. Just in regards to timelines, order revision and tendering, what kind of timelines are we looking at?
Court of Revision will be probably within, if this report is adopted today, Court of Revision will probably be within about 40 days. There is some flexibility built into the Drainage Act for that. And then beyond that, the appeal processes begin, and the appeal processes can vary in the time they take. But we can't tender it until all the appeals have either been addressed or appeal periods have expired.
Other questions? Okay. Councilor Zimmerman, and you're moving to the mic.
Well, I'm just thinking about Mr. Trundle there and wanting his council's opinion on things, and I'm not very good at this drainage stuff, but we're gonna try. So if we adopt this report today, that starts the whole process of the quarter revision is only about the assessments, right?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, correct.
Okay, and then after that, it's appeals, and that's when Mr. Trundle's council could form an appeal against decisions.
Mr. Trendle could appeal to the Court of Revision at the first step, and then beyond that, it would go to the tribunal. And if he's questioning the validity of the petition, then that would go to the referee.
So you would have opportunity to rebuke what their report is. So just to make that clear, just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Especially if such a short time. Can't argue that. It's definitely was.
Other questions? Deputy Mayor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you. So in regards to this issue, there's been a considerable length of time. There are a number of people, I'm not sure which of you was the person who originally asked for the drain or the assessment. And has the situation stayed the same? Is that still, is everybody wanting to go ahead, or do things change, or because it's, I don't know, drainage patterns change on their own? Only if there's some major storms or something to change them, but okay, so that's not the issue here. It's still a go from, okay, perfect, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, so the next question that I have on my, yes, sir. Yep.
Edwin Wouters, I live on the 7th line. My question is regarding the downstream. If we're gonna rebuild this whole drain, what's gonna happen downstream? There's beavers in there already and they clog up the whole system.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we're proposing some deepening and widening of the existing downstream. And there'll be some, excuse me, there'll be riprap splash pads. If there's any beavers in there, they'll obviously be removed. I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Pardon me? Oh, through you, Mr. Mayor, everyone upstream contributes to those costs.
All right, thank you. Questions? Okay, let's go to the next step then. I'm going to ask if there's any members of the public who wish to add or remove their name from the petition. Okay. So I'm going to state that the council must decide whether or not to proceed with the project by provisionally adopting the engineer's report by bylaw or referring the report back to the engineer for modifications. There is no right to appeal assessments or other aspects of the engineer's report at this meeting. These appeal rights will be made available later in the procedure. So I will ask Clerk McRobb to note the bylaw. So let me just read this. I'll ask Clerk McRobb will note a bylaw, if appropriate, will be presented during our open council if that is the wish of the council. We have
So we
A
do have a
resolution?
provisional bylaw within the agenda for council's consideration at the end of the meeting, yes.
okay, so if there's no further questions, is there any way that we could move the bylaw up now and vote on it, Clerk McRobb? That way, our folks wouldn't have to wait around. They get the answer and,
At this time, I'm afraid we are in committee of whole. We'd have to make a motion to go back into council in order to pass that
okay,
resolution. But if it is passed by council, we automatically will send out, we will be sending out the provisional bylaw to the members. It might be hand delivered instead of going out by mail. But we'll make sure that if it is passed by council, we will get it to you. Okay?
Okay. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting unless there's other questions. Okay, so I'm going to officially adjourn the meeting, considering the engineer's report, drain number 95. So we're adjourned. So I'm going to say that you folks can stay, you can leave, or whatever you want. But we're going to continue on with our regular meeting. You will get notification, as our clerk has said. Yes, you can. Thank you for coming, folks. Good luck.
If you haven't signed, make sure you do sign on your way out.
Mike, would you mind asking the folks in the hallway to come in? There's lots of room for them to sit now. Thank you. Pardon? Yep. So it's been moved up to, no, it's been moved up to 100. You haven't been here lately, Mr. Faulkner. So we'll continue on. I'll just extend a vote of thanks for coming and welcome. And folks that were waiting out in the hallway, thank you for doing that. It's very nice of you to stand out there while the meeting's going on, but you're inside now, and thank you for coming. So we have 4 delegations today, and I'm going to ask Tanya Robertson to introduce the Mayor's Charity Golf Check presentation.
All right, good afternoon. Through you, Mayor Turton, to members of council. Once again, we had a very successful Mayor's Charity Golf Tournament with beautiful weather. We had 152 golfers registered to spend the day on the golf course, supporting some of our local organizations. The groups chosen to benefit this year provide opportunities for children and youth to stay active, develop their skills, and continue a love for the game, and also support the well-being and mental health of our dedicated firefighters who serve and protect our community. Mayor Turton has often spoke about the importance of volunteers and the impact that they have on our community, and so it is my pleasure to present the proceeds from this year's tournament to the very deserving individuals who are here with us today. With the support of the community and the golfers who return year after year, we managed to raise enough money to present each group with a donation of $4,000 to be used towards the initiatives of their choosing. I have Mike Wilson from Minto Minor Baseball, Curtis Cox from Minto United Soccer Club, and Cam Forbes from the Minto Fire Wellness Committee here to receive their checks.
So, folks, do you want to come up, or are we in one at a time? Is that Quinn?
Well, I brought your big check for you to take a picture. So, do you want one picture or do you want 3 pictures?
So I've always said on this mayor's golf.
Well, Curtis says just one picture.
We're all on vacation. Yes.
There you go.
Guys. Mike, Cam, Curtis.
Tanya, you have the real checks.
Thank you for,
There's a microphone.
thank you for applying to get into here. Gentlemen, if there's, anything you want to say right now, the mic is yours, Curtis. You can be first.
I just want to thank everybody here, and I appreciate the money. It'll go a long way to support Minto United Soccer.
Similar to what Curtis said, this will go a long way to helping us with our, keeping costs low for our youth to participate in softball. So thank you.
Okay, so just before you go, I mean, we talk about volunteers. Tanya mentioned that in her preamble there. Our council chamber today is full of volunteers, and volunteers is the strength of our community. So on behalf of council, myself, our staff, thank you, gentlemen, for bringing your forward to be part of this Mayor's Charity Golf Tournament, and good luck in your further endeavors, whatever you're doing, soccer, minor ball, mental health. So thank you very much for coming, and good luck. You can go back to work. Thanks. So that was our 15th annual Mayor's Charity Golf Tournament in 2011. It was past Mayor Bridge and Janet Clem and our staff got that going, and it's been a very worthwhile endeavor. And so we'll likely, we will keep it going. What's the date for next year, Quinn? You can tell me later. It's the first, sorry to throw that at you. It's the first Thursday in August. 6th, and it fills up very quickly. Quinn and Tanya usually have 6 or 8 teams that are disappointed because they forgot to put their name in. So thank you. And now we're moving along to the Saugeen Hospice, and we have in our council chamber today board member Morris Voisin and volunteer Jane Dietrich present the delegation. So welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Jane is here with me. She's on the campaign cabinet, and she and her partner Ralph are generational farmers between Malmey and Clifford, dairy operation. And I joined the Saugeen Hospice Board in May, so fairly recently. And Jane and I are both from the Malmey Carrick, South Bruce area. We have 9 or 10 slides just to give you an overview. Also brought this map for catchment area. And just the yellow highlighted area is kind of how it relates to Minto. I'd like to begin with a simple but powerful phrase: compassionate end-of-life care closer to home. So that's our goal with the Saugeen Hospice. So it's going to be a place for all of us where dignity and comfort and community care come together to support individuals and families during life's most tender moments. And it isn't just about a building, it's a future where care is personable, accessible, and rooted in the values of our community. So we'll just explore a little bit about why hospice matters. So based on kind of data from 22-23, just under 1,800 people die in our catchment area each year. Each death impacts about 5 people. So we're looking at just under 9,000 people that these 1,800 deaths relate to. So it's not a small number. And certainly with the extent of Minto very close to the Walkerton area. So we have had 3 acres of land donated by Brockton. We're very grateful for that. And if you're familiar with Walkerton and all, it's just behind kind of the Best Western and the soccer fields, OPP station. There's also a restaurant in that area, as well as a bit of an industrial mall up there. We currently have 12 active beds in this catchment area. And according to stats from Ontario Health West, we need 18. So the goal is for Chapman House up in Owen Sound, which currently has 9, and the Saugeen Reservation has 2, and Tiverton has 2, but they're attached to a nursing home. And then Walkerton, proposal for Walkerton would be to have 6 beds with 1 turnaround bed. So then, yeah, so that gives you a little bit of a architectural view of the hospice. One of the things that we've learned is that the parking spaces for hospice in a lot of locations are very limited. Since we have the land, we're going to be accommodating up to 50 parking spaces, and we'll also include 3 tie-ups for our Mennonite and Amish community. We also want it to be a training center. So if someone from the local nursing home in Hairston wants to participate in some training, we'd like to offer that at the hospice when we get up and running. And so it's support for families, it's community connections, it's healthcare system relief. One of the questions we've had at other council presentations is, kind of what's wrong with the status quo. We think that this will join and be a benefit to our hospitals. That will be the emergency care will be reserved for people that are in a true state of emergency, and the hospice patients will be well cared for by trained hospice palliative care staff. It should be a warm and welcoming and home-like environment, and it's not just medical, it's about enhancing the quality of life. There'll be 24/7 nursing and personal support care, medical care, pain and symptom management. And it's a really to reinforce that, compassion, dignity, and a holistic support, which includes the family. And then that we have the closer to home area there. And so our Saugeen Hospice is a not-for-profit community corporation. Any donations will receive a tax receipt. It was officially incorporated in 2021, but our mission is to build a freestanding hospice residence to serve that catchment area. And the planned site, I said, is East Ridge Park in Walkerton. It'll serve a wide region, including Minto, South Bruce, Brockton, Erin, Elderslie, Hanover, and West Grey. The fundraising goal is 10 million, and I can report that currently we have 7.4 million in cash and pledges. So I think we're on the home stretch. The cost there, so there we can update that thermometer a little bit. So I think that's currently at 6 and now it's at 7.4. We have a cost estimate that was submitted to the Ministry of Health last month, and we hope to hear some feedback on it. The board are all volunteers, and they will be deciding sometime in the next few months whether we can put a shovel in the ground in spring of 2026 with the idea of opening in 2028 so that it would go there. Before I wrap up, I thank you for your time. I know that you've got lots of issues on your plate, and I thank you for listening and caring. And I invite you to reach out with any questions. We do have a website if we can't answer the questions here, but if we have a few minutes and there are questions from council or the community, we're happy to try to answer them.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Voisin, for the presentation. I'll open the floor up to questions right now. Go ahead, Councillor Elliott.
What exactly is your ask of council with bringing this presentation?
So we're on our build campaign. It basically started last January, and we started with just under 6 million, and so now we're at 7.4. So we're asking for municipalities to consider donating towards the build. Once the hospice is up and running, the ministry will fund nursing services. So that is RNs and healthcare aides. And then there'll be an obligation from the board to continue to fundraise for the other operating expenses that that the Ministry of Health won't cover.
Thanks.
Other questions? Councillor Dirksen, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. Not really a question. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. But just thinking back to a couple years ago when my mom was in palliative care in Mount Forest Hospital and asked if she wanted to go to hospice, but hospice was Owen Sound an hour north or Guelph an hour south, and that was just impossible. You know, my dad was visiting every day. There was no way he could make that trip, and so we do have one coming in Wellington County in Aboyne,
Yep.
which is wonderful. And now to have this one coming in Walkerton is also wonderful. Not in our county, but actually closer for people in Minto than
Yes.
Aboyne is. And
Yep.
so this puts us in a much better spot because we have one, I don't know, half an hour to Walkerton and maybe
Yep.
40 minutes to Aboyne or something like that. So it puts us in a much better spot. And I think it's wonderful that that this is coming to outside our area, but still in our area.
Yeah, well, thank you for your comments. So you can see without that there, it is quite a gap. When people are traveling, talk to one family from the Walkerton area, and most of their children were in the London area, and they decided to use the palliative care bed in Walkerton because it was an extra 2-hour drive for their family when they were coming already 2.5 hours from St. Thomas and London to go to Owen Sound. So we hope that our vision will be reality, and we've been very impressed with donations to date.
That's great.
I was just going to comment.
Yep.
I just make a comment on Judy's comment about your father. For those of you who haven't, are not aware possibly of hospice, it is, a big piece of it is also for the dignity of your mother, but also there for your family. So the caring and the peace that's offered to the grieving relatives and the community support and others around them who've possibly been in the same situation is such a big piece to the whole thought of palliative care, and the volunteers will be trained and familiar with those circumstances and able to, to lend a hand and help others as well. So we're very excited about this project. We've been working very hard at this point. And if we can raise our, our goal, it would be absolutely wonderful to be able to put the shovel in the ground in the spring. So we don't want to commit at this point to a contractor, but to be able to do that by this fall would be incredible. And I think our ask, is that if we can collect as much of that, even in a pledge,
Yeah.
by fall, that would really help us to move the project along. Because as you know, these things take time. So we'd really like to get it in place as soon as we can.
Other questions? So you're okay with private donations, corporate donations,
Yes.
municipal donations, everything?
Everything's on the board, that's right.
We haven't said no to money yet.
No, no.
Sure, and it's the money that's holding you up from putting the shovel in the ground, or the ministry has to say, yeah, you have enough money raised,
Yeah.
you can get started.
Yeah.
Or go out for tender.
Yeah, and I think back to Councillor Elliott's question, I think the board would probably feel comfortable once we reach that 80 to 85% in cash and pledges, and then then we just have that 15% to go.
Okay,
And
so.
the money that has been raised too, we've invested. So
Yeah.
last year, our AGM was a couple weeks ago. So last year, I think there was approximately $80,000 in interest. So that contributes to the cause
Well,
as well.
All helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, folks, for coming. On behalf of our council, we wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely, today's volunteer day, not really, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to rotate around volunteers. So take our congratulations back to your board and thanks for coming.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So now the Hairston History Book Committee is here in full form, and I'm going to ask Mr. Faulkner to, I was going to call you Mr. Elliott, Mr. Faulkner to approach. So thanks for coming, Ron. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, Your Worship, members of council and staff. First of all, I would like to comment on the previous, my sister spent her last 8 days in hospice, and I can't say enough good about that organization. It's terrific. I would like to introduce 4 of the members, or 4 plus myself, of the staff that are working on the 50-year history. Yes? 5. No, I haven't forgot. I forgot. Mary Jean Hartwick, Rose Van Sickle, Willa Wick, and Ron Leslie, and I'm Ron Faulkner. And also on the committee is Judy Dirksen. So if I could, you want me to read that letter, Annaline?
Sorry, I'm just losing my thing there.
So
You
we,
don't have to read the letter, but you can just kind of state kind of what you want. You don't have to read it verbatim.
Okay, first of all, there's a correction on the letter. It said, one we had submitted said one of the dedicated individuals involved were involved in the 100-year history. There were 2. And that first one was Judy Tuck, and the second one was Judy Dirksen. So I apologize for leaving you off that first one.
Not a problem. Didn't recognize my last name. That was your problem.
First, that might have been the reason, but it wasn't. Okay, no, I'll leave it at that. I was going to say, it wasn't me. First of all, we truly believe that it's critical to record the annals of history in a history book. Up to 1978 has been recorded in a book, and we think that we would like to do the last 50 years. And not only is it important for the annals of history, we feel it's important because of the municipality of the town of Hairston no longer exists. It's now part of the town of Minto. So I think it's really important that be recorded. And we've done significant research in the costs, and we have some comparison, but we didn't want to bore you with the details on that today. The second part is our purpose here is to remind council of the 150th of the town of Hairston coming up in 2028, right? 2028, and so that celebrations could be planned in advance. So we think that's pretty important, and 150 years is quite a milestone to reach, and we think that's important. Our purpose here today, though, is to, I guess I probably said it wrong in the letter, but looking for the town of Minto to fund this project. I guess we're looking for seed money, I guess would be more accurate for. And so the sales of this book would then also come back to the town. I think I've said that correctly. Yeah. So, and we'd be glad to field any questions.
thank you, Mr. Faulkner. You're asking for a loan then? Is that what you're asking?
No, I don't think so.
No? Just wanted to clarify that.
We think that it's going to cost approximately $2,000 to have this thing printed and distributed, but it should also generate easy that amount in return.
Again, it depends on how thick it is, whether we use color partially or completely, and how many copies we print.
Would you mind just reiterating that in the microphone?
Oh, I'm
please?
sorry, I thought I was talking loud.
Don't let Ron take all the time at the mic. Ron, do you mind?
Yeah, I do.
Too bad.
Do you want me to put the mic at your height?
I knew you had to do that. It'd probably cost more than $2,000. The last going rate I saw was 30 cents a page for color. Well, 100 pages, 200 pages. Drayton's that they just finished was 167 pages. And it was all in black and white. I like color. I would like this to be not just something that gets filed in the annals of history on a shelf. I'd love it to be a book that people would feel comfortable leaving out on a coffee table and flip through the odd time, that it have a visual appeal as well as its content. The request for money is really a request for support. Don't expect you to instantly provide us with $2,000.
Do?
Well, all right. My son said to me this morning in Stratford, why are you just asking for 2,000? Why aren't you asking for 10? And I said, it doesn't work that way, dear. Anyway, each town and location goes after celebrations in different ways. I was involved with the Clifford one 8 years ago now, and Billy Smith, whom many of you know the name, he kind of initiated it along with Randy Roots and a few others. And there were 32 of us that worked on it off and on for 3 years. And I think it was a fantastic celebration. I've heard of other ones in other places that they were adequate, but nothing super special, memorable. And I'd like this one to be really memorable. We're just hoping we're still around for it. Anyway.
Isn't that the truth?
So anyway, I don't even know how you go about this. Billy Smith was such a natural to start the whole thing in Clifford. I don't know who around Harrison, you would know better what people might be most interested and most motivated to start that sort of thing and work together. And I don't know the best way of bringing a group together. Cultural Roundtable is wonderful for so many things, but they're also so very busy with so many things they're doing. I would expect they would be part of it at some point, but I think it should be another group that independent group that does it for the town because of their interest and involvement. So I am asking, I guess, for how can you help bring that about as a council? What people come to your minds as to who might be strong people to take part in that? So I think that's about it as far
right.
as
Anybody
money
with
somewhere
questions?
and what we'd love to have happen. The book
Questions?
would become part of it.
Go ahead, Councillor Pottemitz.
Yes, through you, Mayor. Are you requesting donations from any other groups or any other
We,
individuals?
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay,
Because we're
so
just
we wanna
getting
get it
started. We want you to be, it's kind of a heads up. And we'd like this to happen and we'd like any help we can get anywhere along the line with suggestions. The 2,000 for the book, yes. I know you normally, like the Pam was doing, I know you normally fund 1,000 and that's wonderful. But this is 2025. Dear knows what inflation will do by 2028. So.
Other questions? I'd entertain a motion. Thank you. Go ahead,
I would make a
Deputy
motion
Mayor Anderson.
that council provide $2,000 seed money to start the Historical Society's production and printing of a book.
Councillor Wright, you seconding that? All right.
Thank you, Council.
We haven't
Oh,
voted
you haven't
yet.
voted
Don't get carried away.
I'm going to call the question if there's no more questions. So all in favor of the motion? That's carried. So I just want to thank you guys again on behalf of the council in reference to your book, our book.
Yes, that is
the
it.
Town of
It's
Harrison
our
book. I'm sure we'll all have something to give to the book. On your second thought, though, forming a committee, that's going to be difficult. But we'll be successful. I mean, we need to get on it. I know Palmerston just celebrated theirs in their 150th in 2025, and they were fortunate. We were fortunate to have a couple of young folks from Palmerston and a group of people step forward and carried the ball. They really did a great job over there. So we'll need to get at it. So thank you for coming and good luck to your organization.
Thank
Thank you.
And you can stay as long as you want, or you can, we'll take a second so you can leave now.
I've experienced this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So our,
Thank you.
our fourth delegation today
Thank you.
Mr. Ed Potnovitz is going to introduce a man that needs no introduction, but Mr. Phil Beard is here today from Maitland Valley Conservation Authority. So go ahead, Ed.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor Turton and members of council. I'm Councillor Ed Podnowitz, if you don't know me. And I sit on, I represent Minto and Mapleton and Wellington North on the board of directors at Maitland Valley Conservation. We're appearing before council this afternoon to provide some additional background information regarding the renewal of the memorandum of understanding with the Maitland Valley Conservation has prepared for council's consideration. We have included a letter from the MVCA's chair, Ed McGugan, outlining our request for council to consider renewing the MOU for services and programs for another 4 years. We have also included the draft MOU for council to provide feedback on. It is the same as the last MOU, except we have changed the word levy to cost. Cost apportionment, sorry. The province has changed the word levy to cost apportionment in the Conservation Authorities Act. We have also attached the list of services and programs that the MVCA will continue with for the next 4 years. There are no changes to the programs and services from the last agreement. MVCA will not change any services or programs without consulting with our member municipalities. The budget process will remain the same. A copy of MVCA's draft budget and cost apportionment will continue to be circulated to our member municipalities on an annual basis. We will outline the services and programs that MVCA plans to continue with, and will outline which services are mandatory and which services are non-mandatory. And I give you Phil Beard, the GM for MVCA.
And I have to start with an apology because as Councillor Podnowitz said, there was supposed to be a letter and a draft agreement in your package. And I just discovered today that the letter, July 17th, and package didn't go out. So
Anything to do with
apologies
the
for
mail?
that. Pardon?
Was that anything to do with the mail?
No, it has to do with
Oh.
my memory, unfortunately. So
You don't have to be so honest.
I apologize for that, and CAO has that letter and draft package, and it'll come to the next meeting. So this is just a warm-up. Could I have the second slide, please? Thank you very much. As you know, Maitland Valley has 15 member municipalities. When I started 46 years ago, there was 33 municipalities. The watershed's large. It covers 3,270 square kilometers, or 808,000 acres, and extends from Arthur in the east to Goderich in the west. Slide number 3, please. Now I'm just going to go on my soapbox for a little bit. We are very fortunate to live in an area that has some of the best natural resources in Ontario. We have some of the best agricultural land for growing crops and livestock. The Maitland River is one of the best smallmouth bass fishing rivers in southwestern Ontario. The Lake Huron shoreline has some of the best beaches, in Ontario for tourism. It's also a source of drinking water for many communities. Our woodlots are highly valued for their hardwoods by the forest industry. And these natural resources, along with clean air and a stable climate, are the foundation of our life support system and our economy. So then we'll come off the soapbox and talk about what we do to help look after these natural resources. Maitland Valley's vision is working for a healthy environment. Next slide, please. Maitland Valley has two services that the province considers to be non-mandatory. The first is watershed monitoring and assessment, watershed health monitoring and assessment. We monitor to understand the current health of forests and the river system in the watershed. This information helps us to focus our limited resources where they can be the most effective. Next slide, please. Our second non-mandatory service is watershed stewardship. So this service is focused on providing extension support to landowners to help restore the health of forests, streams, and soil. Maitland Valley considers watershed stewardship to be a critical service because 78% of the land in the watershed is used for agriculture. And we need to be working with farmers. Our focus is to help landowners to implement stewardship practices that help them keep soil and nutrients on the land and out of rivers and streams and Lake Huron. The cost apportionment support provided by our member municipalities provides Maitland Valley with stable funding to have extension staff. Without your support, we would not have the skilled staff to deliver stewardship programs such as the Huron Clean Water Project and the Wellington Rural Water Quality Program. This support helps us keep experienced, qualified staff that landowners can trust and allows them to develop a positive long-term working relationship with landowners, community groups, and funding partners. And Maitland Valley is a small organization, so our stewardship staff also provide support to other service areas, such as conservation areas and stewardship. Next slide, please. Some of the key stewardship practices that we are promoting and helping landowners with are cover crops, stream buffers, and stormwater management. Next slide, please. Maitland Valley provides one service through an agreement, and that being the Huron Clean Water Project that's funded by the County of Huron. Maitland Valley staff assist landowners and community groups with applications. We present the projects to a review committee, inspect completed projects, and issue payment. The Huron Clean Water Project is delivered by a team of stewardship staff at Maitland Valley and the Asabo Bayfield Conservation Authority. Next slide, please. So I'll now move on to the services that the province considers to be mandatory services. First is conservation areas. We have 28 conservation areas representing 4,600 acres of forests, wetlands, floodplains, and river valleys. We have 3 staff to look after all of those areas, except for the Falls Reserve Campground and the Wawanosh Campground. These 3 staff also look after all our buildings and equipment. Next slide, please. Many of our conservation areas are used for recreation by the public. The use of our key conservation areas such as Falls Reserve and Ben Miller, Wawanosh Valley, southwest of Wingham, and Naftals Creek, south of Goderich, has increased significantly over the past 4 years. People have rediscovered nature and walking and hiking. Next slide, please. Yes, Maitland Valley operates 2 campground facilities, one at Falls Reserve in Ben Miller and the other at Wawanosh Park Conservation Area. Campgrounds are not considered to be mandatory services, and both campgrounds must fund their operations and infrastructure with revenue raised through user fees. So no cost apportionment funds or levy funds are used to support our campgrounds. Next slide, please. Natural hazards programs. The focus is on flooding, erosion, and drought. The key services include flood monitoring and emergency response, providing natural hazard planning support to municipalities, reviewing development proposals in floodplains, river valleys, wetlands, and along the Lake Huron shoreline, assisting municipalities to obtain funding to update their floodplain mapping, as we did in Hairston a few years ago, and also to maintain flood and erosion infrastructure. Next slide, please. Maitland Valley's flood monitoring system focuses on monitoring for rainfall events. We have over $500,000 worth of equipment in the field, and this system must be monitored 7 days a week, 365 days a year for potential runoff events. Next slide, please. And last but not least, drinking water source protection focuses on helping municipalities to safeguard the area around their wellheads and intake protection zones. This program is the only program that's funded 100% by the Ministry of Environment, Conservation, and Parks. And I'll let Councillor Podnowitz close our presentation.
Thank you, Phil. So MVCA will circulate the final agreement for signing once we have received your support on the draft agreement. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss this matter with council, and we look forward to receiving your feedback and answering any questions that you may have. So if there are any questions, I'm sure Phil can answer them. After 46 years, he should know everything.
Questions? Go ahead, Councillor Elliott.
Just curious, when I go down through Roxter and Gory and such, like when the water's all flowing nice, it looks beautiful when you see from, and then all of a sudden there's no water above Roxter, and it's like you could probably canoe down there at one time, but now you couldn't. Or how does what you let the water disappear, or how's that work?
No, we don't let it disappear. It's been another dry year. There is an impoundment or a dam at Roxter that holds the water back, but that's really the last dam left in the system, because the dam at Wingham is gone, dam at Gory's gone. And it's been a very dry year, and you're right, you could go for a hike down the river right now. It's pretty difficult to canoe, that's for sure.
So there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. That just sort of is going to be the way it is.
No, that's why our stewardship program wants to see more stormwater management on our lands, to slow the water down, spread it out, let it soak into the shallow aquifer so that it can provide base flow to the river. That's why we need more forest cover upstream. We need more wetlands to hold water. I did give the CIO a copy of a plan to restore the North Maitland River, which our ecologist put together for you. So we need to get more natural infrastructure on the landscape upstream so that we'll have more water in our rivers.
Yeah.
So
you got a beautiful Maitland River flowing down there, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yep,
you know?
yep. It's low. Even at Ben Miller, you could almost take a hike at Ben Miller right now.
Is that right?
But yeah, we need more natural infrastructure, forests, wetlands, buffers on the landscape. We're down to 16% forest cover. When I started 46 years ago, we were at almost 20. So we're fortunately still going down now.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions? Deputy Mayor Anderson, go ahead.
I just have a question. I'm curious here. Drinking water source protection, there's this little graphic here, 25-year time of travel, 5-year time of travel, 2-year. Can you explain that to me? What exactly does that signify?
What that means, it's how long it takes the water to get to the well. So the 25-year zone takes 25 years for the water that's in the ground there to get to that well based on present pumping rates.
Oh, okay.
So that's how source water protection was designed.
So what kilometer distance would that be from the 25-year spot to the well zone?
Depends. Every well's different, depending on how much they pump and how big the distance is. It also depends on what's under the ground as well. So.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, well, I just, one thing, I was on the board with Phil. I was on for 8 years, but I was chair from 18 to 21. Just wanted to, 1979 is when you started. And Phil has introduced to his board of directors that he's going to retire July 3rd, 2026. I'm not sure if everybody's aware of that, but that'll likely be close to 47 years. Back in 1979, 33 municipalities represented. Was there 33 people on the board?
36, because the province used to put 3 provincial reps on. So
Can you
for a while, we
imagine?
had more board members than staff.
So I'm sure there's going to be a big party. Like just a quick story, back in 2017, what was the date? July
17th.
July 17th,
June 17th.
June 17th,
17th,
yeah. It was the equipment that was put in there by the municipalities and Maitland Valley that monitored the water coming through Hairston. And it was that equipment that Phil, I was going to say Phil, Steve Jackson, and your crew in the office in Rochester that determined that we were going to have a flood. We were going to be flooded out, and the information got back to our CAO, and the province didn't even realize that we were having a storm. Not totally, that's not the total story, but it was with all that equipment that was put in there, and it's still in there, would you say, I mean,
Well, there's, across the watershed, there's $500,000, but so.
that's when you think back and the number of years that Maitland Valley have been running as well with all the other conservation authorities. I mean, that was good information that we got here because we were way ahead of the curve that morning, that Friday morning. So if there's no further questions, I mean,
Yeah.
on behalf of our council and staff over the years, Phil,
Right.
the number of years that you've put in, certainly a well-deserved vacation. I have a question. You have a full closet of Maitland Valley clothes.
No, my wife keeps it pretty cleaned out.
She does? She purges pretty good?
It's better than me.
You were going to say something. Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say that equipment that the 3 municipalities helped pay for to put upstream is no longer supported by the company. So we do have to find a new source of equipment to replace it. So just to let you know that that's coming up because they no longer support the equipment that we have up there. So we're madly trying to find a source of new equipment because.
Well,
we
that
need
was
it.
a clear example that day of the need. And everybody's well aware that the Maitland Valley, the Maitland River runs through Hairston and Minto for sure, Clifford. And Maitland Valley and the town of Minto have worked very well together over the years. So thank you for your years and thank you for what Maitland Valley does for us, Phil.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure and you're still going to see me for 9 more months.
Oh,
so
yeah. No. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You can stay if you want, Phil. I'm sure you get, how many council meetings are you going to over the next month? Okay, so we're at public question period. And the mayor, as chair of the meeting, has the duty to preserve order and maintain decorum throughout the meeting. Although council strives to hear and be responsive to resident concerns in order to preserve order, maintain decorum, and comply with the town's procedural bylaw, I wish to caution any participants in question period that questions that use discourteous language will not be permitted. Questions that seek policies or bylaws outside the town's jurisdiction, including policies or bylaws that might violate human rights legislation, will not be permitted. Anything that constitutes speeches or statements not in the form of question will not be permitted. Repeat questions will not be permitted, including the repetition of questions from prior meetings. And all persons shall be limited to no more than 2 questions. So we're in question period. And is there any questions today? Hearing none, we're moving along to correspondence. And we have quite a number of items on the agenda here. Is there anything that anyone wants to discuss or bring out? I know that the Crime Stoppers newsletter is very important to us. Go ahead, Councillor Zimmerman.
Items C and D about the natural gas expansion program from Mapleton and Huron County. I would sincerely like to endorse that as well as a needed item to meet the goals of increased housing. I think that's very important. I know natural gas may not be the exact answer that we're looking for, but it's certainly affordable, and I think it's a good deal.
Is there anything you wanna, I know that we've been dealing with Enbridge. Is there anything you want to add?
Certainly through you, Mayor Turton, to council. There is the name of the environmental response agency that deals with feedback towards these kind of questions. Was open for feedback, and I did provide feedback from town Minto based on its growth patterns and the current housing situation, supporting that natural gas be strongly considered to support the needs of the town of Minto. So that's already been accomplished, but if you'd like us to endorse these ones in particular, we can certainly do that as well.
Well, I think because it's Mapleton and we work closely with Mapleton, I think it would be important to endorse their resolution to meet that target.
So Councillor Zimmerman, not C, is what the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And we want to acknowledge and support. Is that what you're suggesting? You want to make that a motion? I would. Okay, and we have a seconder for that. Deputy Mayor Anderson. Is there anything else? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
The final item about the state of emergency when it comes to mental health, homelessness, addictions, asking for provincial initiative to join the communities that are working together, the agencies that are working together to come up with a more streamlined answer, because goodness knows we've been struggling for years and years and years at a county level and all of our local municipal levels, and there just simply isn't enough funding. And when you consider that rent for an apartment's probably gone from $600 to $2,000, it's no wonder we can't get enough housing for people who are homeless in shelters without some sort of controls or regional programs being put in place by the provincial government. So I would like to support that letter
Okay.
as well.
Do we have a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Benson. So I will suggest that we vote on the first one first. Okay, so that's, just give me 1 second here. That's supporting Mapleton in their endeavors for NGP Phase 3 gas expansion development targets. All in favor of that motion? And then the second one then is we have a mover and a seconder for supporting the Niagara region. All in favor of that motion? Good, that's carried. So now we have a motion, a recommendation moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the council receive the correspondence as information. So everything else. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. So we're going to move along to, we have no committee minutes for approval. We'll move to staff report. And so we have an ECDEV 2025-018 Development Covenant Extension Request for Float King Manufacturing Corporation, and Belinda is out of town, and I'm going to ask our CBO, Terry Kuiper.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor Turton. So Float King Manufacturing purchased a property or a parcel in the Palmerston Industrial Park back in September of 2024. The purchase of the property included our normal building covenants, including obtaining a building permit within 1 year of the closing of the property. The owner fully intends on developing the site. However, due to both steel and aluminum tariffs, it's not only impacted their business, but it also impacts the cost of the construction of the building itself. So staff reached out to the owner and the owner requested a 6-month extension to their building covenants. This does include the owner submitting to the town 10% of the purchase price as a performance deposit, which hasn't been submitted to the town yet, but upon approval of this request, it will be. And that performance deposit is held by the town and then released back to the owner at full refunded cost once they obtain their building permit. So staff is definitely in support of this requested extension.
Thank you, Terry. So we have a motion moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receive report ECDev 2025-18, Development Covenant Extension Request for Float King Manufacturing Corporation, prepared by the Director of Economic Community Development for information purposes, and further that the Council of the Town of Minto approves a 6-month extension to March 5th, 2026. Questions for Terry? It's not the first time we've done this. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. We have a second one. It's a structural grant. It's ECDev 2025-019 structural grant, H16 for Tony Sortros and Scott Young, 19 Elora Street, South Hairston. I'll ask Terry to present.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor Turton. So this application is under our structural grant program. The structural grant program has been in place for the past 10 years. And as council is well aware, there's been numerous applications under this grant program, as well as a drastic increase in the amount of renovations of our downtown buildings. So definitely a positive thing. Harry Stones, which is located at 19 Elora Street South in Hairston, is proposing to renovate their second floor of their building to both add an additional bedroom to a single bedroom apartment, as well as to renovate another section of that floor to provide an additional apartment. With these renovations, an additional egress will be required. So the owner is proposing to add this exterior fire egress, which not only enhances the fire and life safety within the building as a whole, but also adds additional housing units with that additional apartment being added. The owner did obtain 3 quotes for the work, with the lowest quote being approximately $38,000. And with our standard 3-to-1 investment ratio used for the funding grant calculation, staff is recommending to council of a grant in the amount of $9,394.45. So the remaining balance within the structural grant budget is a little under $16,000 for the remainder of the year. And if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to take those.
Okay, we have a recommendation moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Councillor Gunson, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report ECDev 2025-018. It's a structural grant H17, Tony Tortus and Scott Young, 19 Elora Street South, Hairston, prepared by the Director of Economic and Community Development for information purposes, and further that the Council of the Town of Minto approves structural grant H17 for $9,394.45. Questions for Terry? All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you very much. Moving right along then to Plan 2025-021 B6125. It's Cleon Martin Berenger. It's a severance, 9314 to 9326 Wellington Road 6. And I will ask Sama to present.
Thank you, Mr. Turton. Consent application B61-25 for a primary agricultural severance at 9314 and 9326 Wellington Road 6 is currently under consideration by the County of Wellington Land Division Committee. Council may recall that this property came forward in February 2023 for a zoning amendment to rezone a portion of land to site-specific agriculture agricultural to permit a rural school and related uses such as playground, ball diamonds, and parking. The applicant now proposes to sever that portion, which is approximately 1.1 hectare or 2.72 acres in area, with 6.1 meter or 20 feet of frontage to create a new parcel containing the parochial school. The returned parcel will remain 83.7 hectare or 206.8 acres with 404 meter or 1,327 feet of frontage of agricultural land with an existing house, 3 barns, and a silo. The proposed severance is permitted under the county's official plan for community service facilities in a prime agricultural area and compliance with the provisions of the zoning bylaw, including frontage, lot area, and MBS requirements. Town staff support the application and recommend approval, subject to the 3 conditions outlined in the report, including zoning compliance, satisfaction of all financial requirements, and provision of proof that a new drainage assessment schedule has been completed and approved to ensure proper reapportionment of municipal drain number 5. I would be happy if you have to answer any questions.
Okay, we have a recommendation moved by Councillor Dirksen, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the council, the town of Minto recommends to the County of Wellington Land Division Committee approve consent application B6125, Cleon Martin Berenger for land legally described as concession A, lot 13 with municipal address of 9314-9326 Wellington Road 60, town of Minto. Following conditions be considered. There's 3 conditions. One's financial. Second is drainage, and the third one is zoning compliance. Questions for Samo? So we've got, it's mixed, industrial, institutional, and it's their recommendation. It's the Martins that, Cleon, give me 1 second, Beringers have said that they just want to separate it for what reason?
So the school was constructed on the corner of an active farm, and I'm assuming that the owner is now in a position where they want to split that off and give it to the church as a whole or the school board. I'm not sure which it operates under, but it's just to divide the 2 separate uses of the property.
How long has it been there?
2 years, maybe? Yeah, it's a fairly new school.
Good. Other questions? Okay, I'm going to call the question. All in favor of this motion? That's carried. Thank you. I'm going to pass the chair to Councillor Gunson.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. So today we've got 2 reports. The first one is winter maintenance of County Road 2 agreement, and Mike is going to present that report.
Thank you, Chair Gunson. Yeah, my report's just our annual winter maintenance contract with the County of Wellington. Just for us to maintain a kilometer of their County Road 2 up in Clifford, which is Allen Street West from Aurora Street to Minto Street North, and then Minto Street North from Allen to West Heritage. Just that little portion within the actual town of Clifford. If there's any questions.
Thanks, Mike. I'll read the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Podnowitz, second by Councillor Zimmerman, that the council of the town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2025-020 winter maintenance contract for County Roads 2 and 3, prepared by the Roads and Drainage Manager for information purposes. And further, that the council of the town of Minto approves entering into another annual agreement with the County of Wellington for the 2025-2026 winter season. Any questions for Mike? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor? Let's hope for an easy winter, right, Mike? Thanks, Mike. Second report, Clifford Water Tower, and Todd Rogers is going to present the report.
Thanks, Councillor Gunson. Yeah, report today on the Clifford Tower. So the Clifford Tower has reached 20 years of age now, and that's about the time when we start looking at doing an exterior overcoat on it. So this summer in August, we had a adhesion test done on the coating, and it looks like it's going to be a good candidate for an overcoat. So as part of that process, we're looking at also doing a wash and clean of the inside. It's about $275,000 is kind of what we've estimated. The reason that I'm bringing this forward now, rather than just through the normal budget process, is there's limited contractors that do this work, and it typically happens in the spring. So we'd like to get this out and tendered still this year for next year. So that's why I'm bringing this information forward tonight. Yeah, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Todd. I'll read the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Dirksen. The Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2025-021 Clifford Water Tower repainting prepared by the Water Services Manager for information purposes. And further that the Council of the Town of Minto authorizes the Water Services Manager and Treasurer to proceed with the tendering process in 2025 with pre-2026 budget approval to repaint the Clifford Tower, estimated to be approximately $275,000 in 2026. Any questions for Todd? Councillor Zimmerman.
I'm curious, Todd, as to all the communication items on that roof. Did they have to be taken off while they're painting it?
Yeah, they don't take them right down, but they do definitely have to shut them off because there is health concerns there. And then, yeah, they definitely work around the bases of them to make sure that typically if you have a problem in your coatings, it is around those attachment points. So they do definitely pay special attention to them, and we do have to work with telecommunication companies to have them turned off at certain points during the job.
Good luck at that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them up there.
Councillor Elliott.
Just wondering, does it take more than a gallon of paint and a brush or what do you?
Yeah, it takes a large amount of paint, but I'm sure you remember with Palmerston.
I do.
The fact that they do that with just a paint roller is how they apply it. It's crazy. It's got to be quite the job undertaking when the poor guy that's starting that only has a roller to cover an area that big. But
It scared me when I saw them up there doing that. I thought, holy man.
yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Councillor Gunter.
Sure.
So they'll be working off aerial equipment. They won't be putting a scaffold up similar to what they did in Mila.
No, so typically what they do for the overcoats is like it was a skyjack type unit.
Yeah.
When you see the scaffolding, that's generally when they're doing a full repaint. So they actually enclose the tower and sandblast and remove the coating, and they have to capture all that. So that's when you see that tenting and scaffolding of the whole structure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Thank you. Thanks, Todd. I'm going to pass the chair back to Mayor Turton.
Thank you. Surprised nobody asked you where you're getting the money for that.
Gord's not here.
Okay, so we have Clerk 2025-013, appointment of a new member to the Wellington County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee. And I'll ask Quinn Garecki to present the report.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Turton, to members of council, as I'm sure you all know, the town of Minto belongs to the Wellington County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee. Earlier this year, we were notified that our spot on the committee is vacant as the individual who did hold it stepped down. And it is now our responsibility to fill those spots. It used to be done through the county, but in the last round of reprints of the terms of reference, they changed it. So we put out an application on our social media and our website and a few other places. And we received 2 applicants, one of whom fit the bill pretty well. So the makeup of the committee means that there needs to be a majority of individuals who are currently living with disabilities. So this individual recently moved to Clifford, and he is a 2-time stroke survivor. So he has been living with, I believe he said, some mobility issues. So that qualifies him to be part of the committee. So he will be joining the committee at the December 3rd meeting, will be his first meeting with the committee, but I just need a resolution from council to appoint him.
Thank you, Quinn. So we have a recommendation moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councilor Gunson, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report CL 2025-013, appointment of a new member of Wellington County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee, prepared by the Deputy Clerk Manager, People and Culture for information purposes. Further, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby approves Jeffrey Guy Harvey as the Town of Minto's representative on the committee. Questions? Councillor Potnowitz.
Just through you, Mayor, how often does the committee meet?
They meet quarterly, so I think it's like March, June, September, and December typically. Usually the first Thursday. The December ones change to the Wednesday, but it's typically the first Thursday, and they meet in Aboyne.
Other questions? Okay. I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. So we're, thank you, Quinn. We're at announcements. You want to start, Councillor Elliott?
I have nothing. I don't, I could think up something. Except go Blue Jays.
Councillor Potnowitz, Councillor Gunson.
I'll bring up one thing. Hairston Halloween Haunt is on October 24th, 2025, but I'm speaking of this now because registration is just opened October 1st, and it sells out pretty quick. It might be sold out, so I can try and register while everybody else speaks, but anyways, October 24th. Yeah, it's sold out, sorry. So if you haven't signed up, you're out of luck.
Try again next year.
We should have met last week. That's actually all I have.
Okay. Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. I want to tell you about Ontario Agriculture Week. Ontario is a province overflowing with fresh, locally grown, high-quality food and products. And from October 6th to October 12th, 2025, we will be celebrating Ontario Agriculture Week. Ontario Agriculture Week is an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the bounty of food produced by our farmers, the dedicated individuals employed in the industry, and the vibrant rural communities that benefit from agriculture, of which we are one of them.
So we're in it. We're in Agriculture Week.
Yes, started yesterday officially, I guess.
Did you say the 6th?
6th to the 12th.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Councillor Zimmerman.
Well, strangely enough, I happen to have something. So I only picked some highlights this time.
Okay,
I
sure.
could go on here for 15 minutes with everything there is to do in Minto. It's astonishing. I only picked the highlights here. Wednesday, October 15th, from 5 to 8 p.m. is the women of Wellington and Saugeen area are hosting a walk, sip, and shop. And that is to do with women-owned businesses. We're going to do a tour through downtown Hairston. Tickets are $25, includes 2 appetizers, 2 cocktails, or mocktails. You could get discounts and behind the scene tours of the businesses. And I think that's happening out of Launch It. So you contact Launch It to get your tickets. And then a really good one, going back to the agriculture thing, Thursday, October 16th, the Carry On Women's Institute will be hosting 2 shows at the Northern Theatre at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And it's a documentary called We Lend a Hand. And it tells the story of 40,000 young teenage girls that volunteered to work on farms during the Second World War. Senator Rob Black will be on hand at the 2 p.m. show to bring greetings. Tickets are available at the door, or advance tickets. You can call 519-343-2365, and those are $12 a piece. Very cheap deal. Saturday, October 18th at the Hairston Minto Community Center, 111 George Street South, is an event hosted by the Minto DEI Committee. It's a community clothing swap. So what they're looking for is gently used winter clothing, boots, mitts, hats, scarves, everything that you could bring and donate. It's a trade-off. It's, if you need something, take it. If you can donate something, please do. And there's no cost, no judgments. It's just help yourself if you need it. And if you can leave something, that would be great. There's advanced areas to drop off locations from the 14th to the 17th at Service Ontario, the Anderson's Service Ontario in Harrison, and the Grove in Palmerston. And that's for 3 days. And the arena is the day before from 4 to 6 p.m. on the 17th. And just winging this off the top, the weekend of the 25th of October in Clifford, I didn't write this down, but they're having the first ever Halloween celebration, I guess we'll call it, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Celebration Square. There's going to be pumpkin carving. If you bring your pumpkins, you're going to get judged on things. They want you to dress up in costumes to win prizes. And for all you hungry people, there's a pie eating contest, pumpkin pie eating contest. There's limited spots, but there's prizes if you can gobble the fastest. We'll go on even further. There's the second annual Christmas or Creatures of Clifford house decorating contest. Deputy Mayor Anderson and Mayor Turton have volunteered their judging services again, along with myself and my wife, and we'll be the judges again this year. That's happening between the 23rd and the 25th to judge the houses. So pre-register your house so you can get a sign on the front lawn so we can find you and judge your house. And I think that's about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Anderson, go ahead.
Well, Councillor Zimmerman stole most of mine already. I was just going to mention the clothing exchange, that clothing can be dropped off at David's office. People are already dropping it off, but if they could hold off till the 14th to 17th, he sort of forgot that I had mentioned it to him when people showed up with the first bags of clothes. But yes, it's all for people to keep people warm. So if they've got winter clothing, if people go through their bags of clothing, everybody has extra clothing at home. Take it down and it will be donated. And anything that isn't picked up on the 18th will be taken to Blessings to be put for sale there. The Farmerette's documentary viewing is happening on the 16th, and Senator Black will be there at the first viewing to bring greetings. And then this Friday is the Mount Forest or the Health and Connection Fair, sponsored by Seniors for Excellence or Excellence for Seniors. I always get it mixed up. Helen Edwards anyway, at the Mount Forest District Sportsplex. It's from 10 till 1. Lunch will be provided by Raw Carrot, some homemade soup and fresh tea biscuits, and there'll be a new number of different vendors and community members there with various things to do with seniors' health and connectivity during the winter months. Give them people to connect with and stay in touch with to reduce the isolation. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. So just quick comment on the issues with our ASE, our cameras in Wellington County and Palmerston. It's been proven time and time again over the last 8 months that it has slowed down traffic. It has increased the safety of our kids going across the street over there. And the county has not made any decisions on what's going to happen, and our friend Mr. Ford has not made it law yet, so stay tuned.
If I could talk about that for a minute, I talked to someone who got a ticket. They were very angry, and I said, were you speeding? Yes. I said, are you speeding now? No. I said, if they take the cameras out, will you speed? Yes. So they were. And as soon as I said, are you speeding now? Would you speed again? We started thinking about it. Yeah, you're right. I probably should have. So he could get that information to him somehow.
On that topic, do we have any recourse to prevail upon the premier to listen to logic and understand that there was an increase in money? Of course there was, because people are speeding and we're actually catching them in the act. And I hesitate to say this because it was on social media, but there was an article about the number of provincial operated vehicles that were caught speeding on speed cameras. And perhaps that had something to do with the decision, because there was some 93 of them clocked at 50 to 60 kilometers over the posted speed limits. And in that case, this is a direct contradiction of what we're supposed to be doing, keeping our communities safe. And if people have massive bills for speeding, well, then smarten up and slow down. That's the whole lesson. If you get one bill, if you get 2, 3, 4 in the same spot, maybe we need to speed up the learning process a little bit, because slow down. This is our community and we need to keep it safe, and everything else we've tried hasn't worked. So I don't know if we can write a letter or ask for an appointment. Sure, that would go well. But we need to speak up as a community.
Nothing's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has changed.
Yes, I know. Well, let's hope it stays that way.
Councillor Dirksen.
I was reading that there were school boards who had delegated to the, I don't know, to the premier, to maybe a minister, I'm not sure, saying that they would really like to keep it because it is keeping the kids safer around the schools. And I mean, that's why we're doing that, right?
Yeah. I just threw that out there because it's something that the county's dealing with. This is a county issue.
Yes, totally.
And I mean, they're well aware, they have all the statistics, the data on, speeds going through Palmerston. So stay tuned. I have a resolution moved by Councillor Potovich, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that Committee of the Whole convenes into regular council. All in favor? It's carried. Notices of motion. Anything under that heading? Okay, thank you. So we have a resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Bylaws. Moved by the resolution, moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that bylaw 2025-053 be approved and read a first and second time and provisionally adopted in open council. That is the drain, number 95. All in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that bylaw 2025-054 confirm actions of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Minto respecting a meeting held October 7th, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time, passed in open council, and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. Adjournment. Resolution moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto adjourns to meet again to call the mayor. All in favor of the motion? Thank you very much for a very productive meeting.